So I'm live. Now I gotta check my levels because I'm messing with my screen. Okay, so yeah, y'all can hear me. Okay, I am about to watch this movie. I am I gotta work at 10. So it's 2 hours long. Give myself a little bit of time. Make myself some coffee. I'm about to watch this movie and I'm not going to be able to stop because, I don't have all the time in the world. If you jump in and you are like, what's going on? Like, hit me on the chat. I'll be able to see you chat on my screen. It should still work. But we're going to watch this movie.
Not quite sure where I should start.
And it's okay. So I'm going to turn it down in my ears. I'm
I think
hoping.
I want to think about you.
Okay, so what got me into watching this
I don't know.
was that let me make
Gosh,
sure
it's so
again
much
that
easier then.
yeah,
The world wasn't so upside down.
a little bit more down. There we go.
Felt like my biggest problem
Okay,
was
so
making it too high to climb.
I heard about this movie years ago, and then I didn't hear anything at all, and just forgot about it because it's a fan film. And then the other day,
It was gone.
I saw somebody on YouTube talking about this movie being finished like a couple of years
I
ago,
guess we're all left
and how bad it was.
where the golden
And then there was a whole bunch of YouTube videos about the movie, and I'm like, all right, let me watch this. Let me watch this movie, right? And I wanted to do like a preface before we got into the film, but I'm running out of time because I gotta work. So we're gonna watch this whole movie. I'm not gonna stop it. I'm gonna talk over it. Uh, I'm gonna tell you the little bits and pieces that I do somewhat know a little bit, but don't know for certain. So don't quote me. But essentially, this movie cost about $100,000, and I've seen some of it. Like it's not much, only another few minutes, and then I turned it off. But I'm gonna tell you right now, the $100,000 that they spent on this movie was just spent right there. It's all spent. There's no money left. That was it. That was $100,000 worth of footage. You just saw it all. This is the bullshit we're left with.
I can only sign so
So,
many autographs.
I mean, look at this. What is this? What is this? Why did they get out of the car like that? What are we doing? What is happening here? Why are they just standing there and letting them talk like that? And since when does Spider-Man just stand there like that in an alley in broad daylight, just pontificating? And the reason I'm being that nitpicky is because these guys made this movie based on the idea that the MCU movies are terrible. So this is their response. This travesty. Okay, so another little behind the scenes thing is the guys who made this movie, the director and the guy who set up the project, and the guy who is playing Spider-Man are apparently like known racists. They got in trouble. They apologize for making a lot of racist comments and stuff like that. And one of the issues that immediately pops up is they're talking about complaining that the comic book movies are deeply inaccurate. And the first thing they do is bring up this deeply inaccurate version of the Shocker that is not comic book accurate, that I guess is supposed to be based on Bokeem Woodbine's character in the MCU movies. But see, apparently this is some sort of spiritual sequel to the Amazing Spider-Man 2. So I'm hella confused. But look at this. This is talking about true Spider-Man fans talking about how that this is supposed to be the best representation of Spider-Man, and he is fist fighting three thugs in an alley, while the Shocker does. Are those shorts? Oh wow! And the web fluid cliche, and we are only in the first few minutes of this movie. And I saw the Spider-Man belly button too. The Spider-Man belly. He has a little bit of a gut. I mean, this is and we don't know why we're doing this either. And this is apparently the first time he's met the Shocker. So this is the introduction of the Shocker to the story, and he's sort of taking cover, reloading his web shoes like they were a gun. I feel like they wanted to do a bunch of things And then when they got ready to shoot, they couldn't do those things.
You got some stand-up shows this
And they did this instead. And this is,
You're not invited.
I mean, I'll give them some credit. The costume for Spider-Man itself, not bad. I mean, it's not bad. This is an absolute fucking joke. Like, what is this? Yes, he does. He does have a little bit of a beer belly, and it's a little weird. And this Shocker, what is the deal? Why is he so obviously black? I don't recall the comic book version of Shocker being a black dude. And someone pointed out that this is wild, that Spider-Man uses these dudes as human shields. And I feel like apparently these guys are on some kind of Twitter Spider-Man group where they own Spider-Man and they're the only ones to decide what Spider-Man is and isn't. And so this is their whole thing, that they made this movie, that they're the ones who are going to explain to everyone what Spider-Man's really like. And so far, I'm deeply unimpressed because I read a lot of Spider-Man since 1990 to 2010. Amazing Spider-Man 350 into Brand New Day. And man, I don't know. So far, and I've also been one of the people who was unimpressed with Spider-Man in other media, but not like this. Other media always seems to get Peter Parker down. They just seem to greatly depower Spider-Man, and these guys did it too. I just saw Spider-Man have a fist fight in an alley with like 4 dudes in the Shocker, and I'm unimpressed. Apparently, like, I watched someone review this, and they were kind of torn because the actors aren't seasoned.
I tried to get here on time. I really did.
But your bike was stolen, stuck at the bugle, you're studying late? Something like that, Peter?
Something like that.
It's fine. The movie wasn't that great anyway.
Told you guys you'd be late. Thanks, Harry. How you been, buddy? Couldn't be better.
Okay.
What do you think of the Fu Manchu, huh?
What?
There's nothing there. It's still growing in. Just give it some time.
He's been growing it out for 2 weeks.
Okay, no, it has not been 2 weeks. It's not.
Oh, okay. Why turtlenecks? Are they all 3 turtlenecks? That's. I think they bought all the turtlenecks at the store that day that were available. When is this supposed to be? So, this is like earlier. I'm never really even a fan. You can't stand my superhero. What's the comprehensive? Oh, you and I can't follow. Yeah, and I think this is supposed to be like. I think this is supposed to be like a sequel to Amazing Spider-Man 2, where Gwen died. Because I watched the whole review, so the movie got spoiled for what it was. But I had to see certain things firsthand. I had to see it from my own eyes, and so that's why I'm here. But
Best sandwiches in New York.
so Spider-Man in the daytime was fighting Shocker and 3 dudes, and it took him so long after throwing that uppercut that he was late to the nighttime movies. Oh, also, I wanted to point out, because it's only fair. Like, okay, so this guy did like a crowdfunding thing for like $100,000 to make this movie. And I am telling you it's awful, right? It's shitty. It's a sucky movie, right? But I'll be fully honest. If you gave me $100,000 right now, I would make the worst movie you ever saw before in your life. I don't know how to make a movie. So it's not about doing better, but it's about all the extra weirdness on top of just the movie, because that's what made me so curious. This guy right here on screen apparently was so homeschooled that he was so racist because of the homeschooling that he couldn't keep from calling people the N-word all over the internet. The guy who directed the movie apparently also has some pretty racist beliefs. The actor who plays the Green Goblin apparently is a actual registered sex offender. Like, it just gets bad. And then they have all these tweets where they're saying all these awful things. Like, okay, so apparently, let's see. it's about weird. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, apparently like they don't know how establishing shots work, and like neither do I. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't do better. I would have the same sensibilities trying to mimic what I think a movie is supposed to be because I haven't gone to film school like these guys. And so they are, a lot of this is like what they think a movie's supposed to do. So, like, all of those, like, wide city shots and stuff are just pointless because we don't know where that is, you know. But, like, this is supposed to be Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, I thought, but maybe it's not. And if it's not, like, are these high school students? Because that was the deal. In the original, like, timeline and progression, they're all high school friends, except for Mary Jane. They meet Mary Jane in college, even though it is true she was Peter's neighbor. For whatever reason, she didn't go to the same high school, and he didn't meet her. It was like this whole thing. Aunt May and her mother or her aunt were like friends, and Aunt May is constantly talking about this girl he should meet, and you find out that it's Mary Jane. So I don't think she went to the high school with Peter. It was Betty Brant, Gwen, and Harry and Flash. I think Betty. I think it was Betty, or either Betty or the lady who would eventually marry Harry Osborn and be Normie's mother. I can't. Her name won't come to me right now, but I think she might have actually been in the original cast of characters because, like, old school Spider-Man kind of reads like Archie comics, but he's Spider-Man, which is, I mean, when you look back at it, it is neat. You know, they're in high school, kind of makes sense. This is like the college years, and Mary Jane's introduced. Flash is in the military. Peter and Harry are roommates, and Harry's dating Mary Jane. And yeah, so this is supposed to be, I guess, their college years. But this is all like done kind of out of order. And this is also like a super long, like flashback. It's so long that you don't realize that this is a flashback. I only know it's a flashback because I watched the review. But yeah, this is all a flashback. None of this is happening in real time.
There is a reason.
Okay. Okay, and it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. Okay, it's one of those things where, and let's see here. The Boys really does an excellent job of it, even though they got accused of kind of slipping this season. But basically, this movie is kind of, I guess, dealing with the concept that in the MCU, when awful things happen, characters don't deal with it, which isn't true. You know, when you see the characters that you like recognize from the comics behave in ways that like just don't really. Let's see here.
I want to remember this moment.
I gotta move this over a little bit because the.
In front of me.
Here we go. Comic word. Yeah. Okay, so the books where Spider-Man takes over, I mean, where Doc Ock takes over Spider-Man, that's after. I was supposed to do a preface, but I was running late. So, real quick preface for me. I picked up my first issue of Amazing Spider-Man in like 1990 or 91 with Amazing Spider-Man 350, giant size. It was Spider-Man and the Black Fox versus Doctor Doom, and I had already been a Spider-Man fan, but that was the first time I was allowed to buy a comic book and pick and like have it. So I read Spider-Man like from yes, he's very, very, very strong. So I read Spider-Man from 1990 until like 2010. Like that was like my jam. And I read a whole bunch of other comic books and stuff too. So I kind of have a good, see, here we go. Now this is the beginning of the movie. A good sense of Spider-Man, but after 2010, day to day, I have no idea what that dude's been up to. So I've read a few little books here and there, and I'm aware of Superior Spider-Man, where Dr. Octopus, I essentially, I guess he I technically he killed Spider-Man apparently, and then took over his body somehow, and then he was like Spider-Man for a while, and they merged the universes with Miles Morales, and so they're both in the same universe. Like I feel like in the decades since I've been reading DC Comics, to peek over someone's shoulder, it just sounds like. I mean, it sounds like I buried the lead. It sounds like Marvel Comics is kind of like DC Comics now, and that's cool. I read DC Comics too, but and that's I mean, they're always sort of playing off each other, paying reference to each other, competing with each other. It doesn't surprise me that things just kind of come full circle as they circle each other as two different companies. They used to be one company, you know. But yeah, what they're doing with this concept is dealing with grief, and the concept that the MCU doesn't deal with grief, and I feel like that's not true. The movies deal with grief just fine. The people who don't deal with grief are the viewers, because they watch the movie and they roll their eyes at the parts where the characters are dealing with the grief. They roll their eyes at the parts where the characters are dismayed at loss, because the loss for them isn't calculable, because no one on the main cast died. Yeah, it's really good. I'm not sure if it's well. Are they allowed to use clips from the comics? Oh, they're not. So this is their explanation of what happened in the previous movie. And okay, so here we go. So this is kind of like if Spider-Man 2 was super comic accurate and it wasn't Mary Jane in the movie but Gwen Stacy and she died. I mean, that's kind of how it feels.
Sources say they saw Spider-Man fleeing the vicinity, leaving Osborn dead on the scene with the blade wounds and several scars.
He said sources found Spider-Man leaving the scene with Osborn at the scene, dead, and the body had scars. Now, okay, that is not something that someone would say like that, but the body had scars is like, that's not how that works. It's like, I feel like they should be punished for comic book inaccuracies only because they complain so much about comic book inaccuracies. I feel like this movie is a testament to people who complain about films without understanding why certain things are done. Like, I used to complain about certain things that I just stopped complaining about once I knew better. Like the mask being on their faces as actors. I gave up on that. Gender swapping. It's when you're making a movie, you got to make a movie to make that movie good. And comic books aren't movies waiting to happen. And if you just translate it one to one, you're just going to make a shitty movie every single time without fail. There's not one single comic book that all by itself is perfectly a movie without any alteration. So these guys were so cocksure that the filmmakers didn't know what they were doing. And they get out here and they do the same shit, just worse. So in Amazing Spider-Man, in Amazing Spider-Man 2, when Gwen dies, there's a whole montage where Peter is devastated for a long time because she died. You know, seasons change. Like I'm in the minority. It's not the best movie ever, but I really liked Amazing Spider-Man 2. I really did. I thought they did the death of Gwen Stacy really well. Let's see here. Of both mediums, right? You know, the other thing is, okay, so everyone's they do two stories. They do the death of Gwen Stacy, and they do this other story that is also from like the 80s or 90s. My issue is this kid is like 18, 19 years old when he gets the funding to make this movie.
And Jonah.
I don't want to stop this movie. I can't. It's almost 10 minutes to 8. I got to work at 10. I'm not going to be late to work for this movie. I can't be. I can't be. My job is right here. I'm already at my job, so I can't be late to work. Okay. So, I'm going to look this up real quick. I am
About me.
Yes.
before looking it up, I am Oh, wait.
None of you get it. I don't want to talk to anyone.
Okay.
Don't get mad at me for trying to help.
You're not trying to help.
Yes,
I know better
I
than
am.
most. You never cared about
There
me.
have been tense moments between Peter and MJ. They were a married couple.
Because everything's a mess, Peter.
But this
I haven't
level
seen you in
of
weeks.
fucking
Harry is gone. Nobody wants to go out with me anymore.
What, you came to bug me?
this level of horseshit talking to Mary Jane like this is what people who don't really read Spider-Man
Fine.
but look at it come away with.
You're a joke.
That's how you get this dialogue from Peter Parker. They didn't read the book. They looked at it. The artwork was awesome. They got the gist of it, but they treated it like hieroglyphics, and they projected their own insecurities and weirdness onto the character because they didn't actually read the words. Peter Parker wouldn't talk to anybody like this. This is outrageous.
So leave.
That's true too.
Hate to ruin
Let me look this up real quick. I am pretty sure that The Death of Gwen Stacy was originally published in 1974. I'm going to look it up on my phone because I'm not pausing this movie. Let's see here. Book by Jerry Conway. And 73. So, yeah. June and July 1973 was The Death of Gwen Stacy. Now, these kids on Twitter, none of them were alive. Hell, I wasn't alive. I was born in 78. So I didn't read Death of Gwen Stacy firsthand either. I was aware of it and made aware of it as this hollowed event in Spider-Man history. But I did not experience it in flow of storytelling. Years after the fact, I would get my hands on every issue of Amazing Spider-Man. So years after the fact, I would read issue 1 and go all the way through reading Death of Gwen Stacy, knowing about George Stacy, all those stories and characters. I read all that stuff, not firsthand, but after the fact. This is what you get when you don't actually read these stories, but you are made aware of them and know that true fans pay reverence to A. Because you didn't read Death of Gwen Stacy, and you certainly didn't read it in context, and you sure shit didn't read it in 1973. You're 18 years old. You are like talking secondhand shit to people who were alive back then. It's weird to do this. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like doing the Death of Gwen Stacy as your argument to how to do a Spider-Man movie, right? Good luck with that, bro. You're not going to get it right. And, like, for me, at that age, a younger, reading Spider-Man in the 90s in high school, like, being a huge fan of the cartoons and whatnot, I didn't want them to make live-action Spider-Man and X-Men and movies. Superman and Batman were cool and stuff, but they were like catching lightning in a bottle. And by that point, the Batman movies weren't that good anymore. You know, George Clooney come in there and he apologized profusely for it. But, like, it wasn't the same thing. The quality of those movies wasn't the same. It wasn't a slam dunk they were going to be good. So if you ask me, at the time I'm actually reading Amazing Spider-Man, the answer is don't make a Spider-Man movie. Leave my character alone. Don't do this. Because whenever you guys do, it sucks. And we kept getting shit like this, too. I mean, this is just... like, what is this? Like, this is a Spider-Man movie. We haven't seen Spider-Man since they spent the entire budget for the first 5 minutes. That's what I'm talking about. This movie's, they crowdsourced $150,000. And they were like, look, we're gonna make the best Spider-Man movie ever. And we promise you. Have you listened to the new current? Not yet. Not yet. I don't know when I'm gonna listen to them. Only because I don't drive very often anymore. And I don't drive for very long. And so, like, podcasts, We're in the car. I'm sitting at home. I'm probably not gonna like. I don't. Well, maybe if I'm doing the dishes or something. But yes, there's like a bunch of them, and I'm gonna listen to them. I'm just being lazy.
It doesn't matter. I'm fine.
Yeah.
You vanished for weeks.
Wait, Harry's been. Oh, okay. So they don't have any title cards to let us know when stuff is. So everything before the
Harry, can you just take a second to listen? It's nothing you have to worry
right
about.
on.
I don't have to worry about.
Everything before the first. Oh wow, just the pills all over the floor. Like, what was he doing? He was like, I'm gonna take these pills, and then he's like, they're so good. Ah, pills everywhere. What was that? I just don't understand. So
Do you realize that?
they spent all the budget on a flashback sequence, so you could see that Spider-Man exists, right? And then that sequence where he beat up the Shocker just to show a black guy as a criminal, because that's the only black person in the cast so far has been comic book inaccurate Shocker. And it's all a flashback, so it's meaningless. And then now we're in current time, and
Around, doing whatever you want, hiding. My father just died. I thought you of all people would be able to understand that.
oh, okay. So they made a lot of big differences.
You
So
were the only person who lost something that day. But you can't admit that because you're too selfish to think about anyone else. Nothing is ever a problem until it affects you.
Harry, I haven't seen you in weeks. And the first time I do, you're passed out on the couch acting like everything's fine. Look, I get
Wait.
that stuff.
do they know his dad is Green Goblin? Is this part of this too?
You can't just stop.
I thought we could get past our differences, and I thought we understood each other, but we don't. I don't owe you anything. I give you this place to stay. I give you money when you need it, and I help you send your failed proposals, you coward.
What is happening here? You know his father's like a supervillain, right? They found him in the costume. You're not going to talk about that? And apparently Harry in this version is basically the rich homie who takes care of everything for him, and he's like mooching off of him apparently. Which, yeah, okay.
Harry, wait.
Sorry.
This is a movie that can't afford to Spider-Man. It asked for Spider-Man money. They gave them Spider-Man money, and they gave them 5 minutes of Spider-Man. And now we're getting what happens when you can't afford the Spider-Man anymore. Because this is not Spider-Man. This is, what is this? Like, okay, they said that Green Goblin was found, and they know it was Harry Osborn, or Norman Osborn. So the cat's out of the bag. Your father wasn't just found dead. Your father is a supervillain bent on murder, dude. Like, what's up? What's up with that? What are we arguing back and forth here? I mean, your father is a supervillain, and do you know I'm Spider-Man? Like, is what's going on here? Like, what is happening? Oh, this is a dream sequence. And the dude who reviewed this said this was probably one of the only decent parts of the movie because it was shot well. With the you'll see in the, you'll see in a second. But this I remember watching. Is it No Way Home? Where also before I forget, these dudes, at least the director or whatever, they talked a lot of shit about the women in this film. They were tweeting back and forth about how they were terrible actors and that they had to do everything they could to salvage their performances. And I mean, like, these guys didn't hold nothing back, and all this stuff came out. You know what would have been cool? If we would have saw, like, maybe the fight or the death, but then you realize that they can't afford it. They can't afford to shoot that stuff. Right. Like, all that special effects budget, it's all gone. It's all gone. And also, I gotta point it out that apparently the VFX team when they found out about all the racism and the misogyny and all that other stuff, well, they quit. So they had to like scramble to put this all together. My gosh, this movie is so long. And I mean, okay, we're Spider-Maning again, but what is this? Oh shit. Was that the Green Goblin? Oh wow. Now remember they did the mask in the Sam Raimi one, and it was what it was. The mask was on his face. And then they realized that Willem Dafoe was just Willem Dafoe and could make that shit work. And they let him just do what he wanted to do. And they kind of got rid of the dumb mask after like the first couple of times you saw it. But this is why you make the dumb looking mask that he wore and not that shit. Because that looked comic book accurate, but then immediately dumb. And again, remember that guy is dead too. Like, this is a movie where there's no main bad guy because the main bad guy has died. And we are watching a movie where he deals with the grief. And I'm not saying that's not important, but I want you to imagine the end of the first Batman movie with Michael Keaton, right? The Joker falls and he dies. Right? What if Batman Returns was 2 hours of Bruce Wayne in therapy dealing with the death of the Joker? And then at the end of the movie, Batman and Alfred hug, and then they walk off into looking at the bat signal. And that's the movie, because that's what this movie is. The other movie had a story and a villain and adventure and value for your money. This movie examines all that for way too long and tells you that it's okay because you didn't pay for it. Yes, this is what we're doing. We're doing this. Yes, we're still here. We're still here with the character because, yes, this does matter. In comics, sometimes characters move on really fast and it's difficult, but there's a whole lot of behind-the-scenes reasons for why certain storylines don't get carried through as faithfully as we would like. Oftentimes, it's logistics. What happens is when those logistical issues affect a story, in film and television happens too, you have storylines and characters who fall by the wayside, and you find out that behind the scenes someone lost their job, or a production house switched and something happened. A movie didn't get made, a producer didn't write a check, something happened, and it's different now, and an element of a story that you love was slipped. Whoops, those things aren't bad writing. Those things don't happen because someone just decided not to tell the story in that way anymore. It was something that couldn't be helped, that is outside of the creative process. These movies are made because someone who is a fan doesn't understand that. They don't understand what's happening when a character who should be in grief for a long time suddenly isn't. They don't realize that another writer came on board and they have a mandate to do this in this small window of time, and what you wanted was sacrificed. You think it's bad writing. It's not. So when you make your story trying to litigate what you think is bad writing, you end up making bad writing on your own, because this is horseshit. We're still here because these idiots thought that Peter Parker wasn't sad enough when Gwen Stacy died. So we have 2 hours of sadness. And who's our villain? Sadness is our villain. This is Peter Parker fighting sadness. How is this a movie? How is this a movie? Okay, the Joker movie is good. the first one, the Joker. But also remember that movie isn't trying to litigate anything. It's not trying to make an argument about anything. That movie is the creators having an idea with a singular character and saying, we can put this together and do something special and unique. Now, from what the reviews are saying, they definitely caught lightning in a bottle because from what I'm hearing, the second movie is not doing so hot as far as reviews. I haven't seen it, had no idea. I saw the first one, I thought it was good. If you were going to say that that's not a comic book movie, fine, I don't care. The Joker was a good movie. I don't know what I need it to be or what I need it not to be. I don't need it to fit in canon with anything else. Just okay. I don't like critiques and reviews because I think those are for academics, and critiques and reviews should be in film school. They shouldn't be doing critiques and reviews for entertainment purposes because who are we entertaining? I don't know shit about movies. I don't want to do anything that makes it harder for people to get movies made. And I think Rotten Tomatoes, at the end of the day, makes it harder for people to get movies made. Like, these guys got $100,000 to make a movie, and they probably shouldn't have. But that only sucks if they literally took that $100,000 from someone else. I feel like the more people who get to make movies, the better. These guys should make 5 more of these things, and they should be progressively worse. I don't give a shit. The more people have an opportunity to get to the plate and take their hacks, the better, because you never know what you're going to get. These guys might turn around next time and make something phenomenal. This movie sucks, and it's over. They should all just go back to the drawing board and fucking make another one. I think we made the stakes way too high for things that are supposed to be just entertainment. Like, I don't really have any skin in the game at Marvel or Disney or DC or any of that shit. But it seems to me like they are destroying themselves for fucking nothing. Like, I don't give it. I'm gonna watch all the comic book movies that come out because fucking why not? And this idea that there's a winner and a loser at the end of it all just makes it harder for people who are creative to make shit because they have to hop over this weird fucking barrier that shouldn't be there. I don't care. It's ironically good. Yeah, this is not ironically good. This is boring. And the thing about it is, I would challenge you to know this was a Spider-Man movie. I could take out 5 minutes of this movie, the opening sequence, the sequence with with Harry and the drugs, the pills on the floor, and people would be like, they would guess it's Spider-Man but couldn't understand what they were doing. And they would be like, why are they using all the names from Spider-Man? Is this some kind of Spider-Man homage? Are these Easter eggs? Do they really love Spider-Man? Yeah, I don't want to ever, we deny access because people are trying to make some money. Film reviews are not for the artists making them. They're not writing those reviews for the filmmakers. They're writing those reviews for people at home on their couch to entertain them, which makes them a part of the marketing process, which makes it all disingenuous. I just don't give a shit. I used to write film reviews. I stopped doing that around 2010 as well. So the last official thing I wrote as a reviewer is why you shouldn't read film reviews. It's all bullshit. But this movie sucks, man. I mean, could you imagine if this was a Spider-Man movie? You went to the movies, Tom Holland. I mean, just put all of the cast from the MCU into this. Just 1-to-1, switch everyone in and out, and watch this movie and tell me it's good. Tell me this is a Spider-Man movie. Oh, wait, here's Spider-Man. It's got to be a Spider-Man movie. He's about to Spider-Man now. And who's the main villain? Who's the ne'er-do-well he must stop? Oh my God. The main villain is a broken heart. It was inside him all along. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought they spent the entire $150,000 budget. They scrolled away another $10,000 for this bad boy right here. Wait, is the big fight scene going to be a flashback? Oh, wow, like a video game right there. This is what happens when you talk a gang of shit on Twitter and then someone gives you $100,000. Keep it up. Nice. Wait, what? Nice. I will.
Gwen. Gwen, wake up. Wake up, Gwen. We're safe here.
Okay, so she dies, and now he goes to find her, I guess. Oh, he goes to find Norman, and they fight it out. Yeah, Norman Osborn died in 73, right? We looked it up, right? Okay, from 1973 until the end of the Clone Saga, Norman Osborn was dead in the comics. So all this kid's life, pretty much, except for the last few years, he never even saw Norman Osborn in the comics. Harry Osborn was the Green Goblin until Harry Osborn died when I just started reading the comics. So for like a big, huge chunk of the time that I was reading Marvel Comics, neither Norman nor Harry were around. Harry was around like when I was still in high school, but then he died, and they never, to my knowledge, never brought Harry back. And I was always disappointed in that because I thought that Harry Osborn and Peter Parker's dynamic was the best in all of comics. They were best friends. They lived like upstairs, downstairs from each other. And then like they were Spider-Man and the Green Goblin. It was wild, but it was probably also unsustainable. And so yeah, they did. They eventually killed Norman off, or Harry off. And so they teased the return of the Green Goblin for a few years in the middle of the now infamous Clone Saga. And then, of course, they introduced the clones, Ben Reilly, the original Peter clone, the whole thing with the jackal, wild shit. And then at the end of that, the big reveal, the death of the clones, to reveal that it's actually been Peter Parker's, the real Peter Parker this whole time, was the return of Norman Osborn. And the return of Norman Osborn was significant because once they brought Norman back into the comics, the rest of the comics grabbed Norman Osborn and took him into the greater Marvel Comics continuity, because like the comic book version of like Secret Invasion, when that ends, the Thunderbolts that they're making this new movie, Norman Osborn is Iron Patriot and the leader of the Thunderbolts. They made Norman Osborn Marvel's Lex Luthor after they brought him back from the dead, sorta. He wasn't dead. He basically in the retconned version of this, Norman is impaled, but then he's transported overseas to Europe, and he heals up and stays there forever. I'm not gonna lie, that Love from India thing is getting me a little nervous. I mean, I know my YouTube channel is my name, and I don't want to be like weird about it, but oh heck, I don't have any money, so they can do what they want. But yeah, this is still a flashback. This is not happening. How is this? I guess if you already have plot armor, it doesn't really matter what the story is the idea, because this is like, you went from having like, I don't know, man. I hate to talk about stakes because I don't think I need stakes in a story necessarily, but I feel like watching this, maybe I do, because there are no stakes here at all. This is all a memory. He is having a flashback. And apparently, this isn't. What is this?
This is what you are.
Okay. So we're still going to do the impaler thing. Okay. I mean, that CGI fire is CGI, boy. That's fire back there, boy. And can he see out of that right eye or left eye? No. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The costume was never poorly done. You can see they spent like a good portion of the budget on it, and then they of course had to ruin it for this scene. Oh yeah, here comes Spider Sense. What is? Oh wow, they couldn't afford the stabbing. They couldn't afford the stabbing. So, is this almost over? It's like 8:16. What's going on here? Wait a minute. We've been. Oh my God! This movie is. I just realized we're at the 46-minute mark, and we have. Oh God! What are we doing? Okay, that happened. He had another memory. He had a flashback. He remembered something else about the thing we already knew about. What is happening here? There's no villain. I want to keep pointing out that we are 47 minutes into this 2-hour movie, and there is no villain. The villain is dead.
Hey there, Blondie. Hey there, superstar. How'd your audition go?
Oh no, another flashback.
They've got no idea.
Comic book accurate headbands.
No.
Right on.
No, they really don't.
Hey, look, I know that you were thinking about London. Are you still planning on studying abroad?
Now that is. Oh, I guess that's referencing the movie because remember she was gonna go overseas and. Okay, all right.
Not before I get a
Okay.
chance to see you on the big screen.
Was Mary Jane in the Amazing movies? I think they didn't. I think they hired someone who is a big deal now,
I've got nothing but time.
but they cut her from the film. Like she shot a bunch of stuff. Went away. They came back for me, Doctor Who. And it was just.
To wait for one
Yeah, I think.
You are gonna be out
Oh, I can't think of her name. But she did a couple of those Divergent movies. I think they hired her to be Mary Jane, and she shot footage and
I
everything.
guess you will.
But it all hit the cutting room floor. But technically speaking, they did shoot Mary Jane stuff with her. And did Mary Jane smoke in the comics? She smoked in the movie. I think they had her smoke in the movie.
Flash.
Flash Thompson.
Thought you quit smoking.
I am in the minority a lot of times, and I'm not a huge Venom fan. In the comics, reading the comics as a kid, I hated Venom. It was like it really bogged down the story. Venom was like this
It's fine.
writing tool and not a character. He was this like box of checked off things that was designed to hamper and like I don't know. I felt like the Venom character is the equivalent of telling a story where Batman loses his utility belt. Like if you really think Batman's all about the utility belt to the point where the only drama you can create is taking it away from him and seeing what he does, then you'll love Venom. Because Venom's whole deal is he doesn't trigger Spider-Man's Spidey sense. He knows his secret identity. He can turn invisible. He doesn't feel pain. Like he's kryptonite. Like it generates the just kill him already cliche. Like, so when I'm reading Spider-Man back then, I would just, my eyes continually rolling because it's like, okay, well then just, you know what, fine, kill Spider-Man then. If that's the case, then have Eddie Brock be waiting in his house, and when Peter walks in the door, he just kills him because you made this character that can only do that. And then after they realized that they're not going to kill Spider-Man and they made a Doomsday, you know, they decided to make him a hero character, and that was also equally dumb because, you know, you made this character that has only one goal and one ability and one thing, this super one-trick stupid pony, and he looked cool, which made it even worse because you can't get rid of him because he looks so cool. And then they did the whole thing to this guy. The whole Eddie Brock became Venom, and this is all after my time with the comics. I was out by then. But I was over it too, man. This was. But Flash was really cool to read about when I was a kid, you know, because when I was a kid, I had a hard time with bullies, and Flash was a bully. And if you read Spider-Man through the years, Flash's maturity is like that it gets better kind of conversation you have with kids who get bullied, because Flash didn't like suddenly stop bullying Peter because of like, oh, you're strong now, or you're you know, he explains it. Flash and Pete have a really good conversation after Flash gets back from Vietnam. And it's kind of this conversation, but of course this is exposition. He's not talking to Peter about it. But this is all I sort of, I guess, from the comics. I don't know what this is, but this is a lot of exposition to humanize and make Peter seem like a good guy because you didn't do the work with your story before, and for this entire 52 minutes of movie, Peter Parker's a huge asshole and nothing else, which is, you know, not comic book accurate. So this is here to explain why Peter is such a huge asshole, which is. And this dialogue is so like, this is how you talk to the ladies.
But you can't do it alone. Pete's a good guy.
Wait, what?
He always does.
Wait. Gwen's body ain't even cold yet. And isn't... What the hell is this?
So,
See...
you and Liz.
That's her name.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the comics, it is terribly stilted. Liz, and her name still won't come to me, but Liz is actually who's going to end up marrying Harry, and they have a kid named Normie. Now, this Flash thing and Liz might actually be accurate because there were good stretches while they were in college and high school, yada, 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 the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. I didn't read Spider-Man in the 80s. I was a little kid. I didn't. What? Oh, okay. So, come on, Harry. This movie could use some, like, I don't know, like 8 p.m. Tuesday. I don't know, something. Because we don't know how long it's been between one scene to the next. We can't tell what's a flashback necessarily between what's present day. And we don't know why anything is even really happening. What is this whole sequence? I'm not backing this shit up, but she was out there smoking where we don't know. He came out there and started talking to her where we don't know. Then they had a whole conversation and she left.
He gains his strength, plants himself down, and he lifts until he's free from the rope.
It really is. Yeah. Yeah.
The flip of a kick.
It really is. And, oh, dude, I saw some more. I have a couple reaction videos. Man, I cannot wait for the Veil Guard. I mean, I'm going to have to wait, but I cannot wait. Now, okay, this is the other story. So the death of Gwen Stacy is now finished. That story is done. There is no villain in this movie. The villain is Sadness. Okay, so this is now the B plot. This is the second story in this movie with no connection to the other parts of the story except for Peter Parker is still very sad. This is a story that, like, I saw clips from it and I feel like it was just in my Marvel Comics collection and I had to have read it because of the years and stuff. And when I say I read Spider-Man from 90 to 2010, now Amazing Spider-Man that entire time, but in that time as well was Spectacular Spider-Man, Web of Spider-Man, Peter Parker Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2099. You know, like, I read some Spider-Man, boy. And you see this horse shit in this guy's room? The villain is Peter. He is the bad guy. All right, so I always hated this, and they do this in the movies too. Okay, Spider-Man might have fans in his world. There might be many, many people who adore him. But when it comes to marketing him as a character like this is fucking The Boys, no. They deal with this in the comics where Peter Parker tries to cash in. Look at the Spider-Man cartoon in the background with Peter Parker. What was that? Oh my God. So this is dumb. All I'm saying is this is dumb. This is not what the universe would look like in terms of Spider-Man. Like this is not what the universe would look like. This is just no. This is not what the universe would look like. You wouldn't have Spider-Man posters. You wouldn't have people making money off the Spider-Man trademark. You wouldn't have a Spider-Man cartoon that gave away actual tidbits of his actual life. They just showed Peter Parker on the cartoon sitting in Peter Parker in the living room. This isn't The Boys. They don't exist like that. There's no money to be made. Peter Parker is not a public entity. He's a private citizen who's keeping his identity a secret. So toys, comic books, none of that. Not for Spider-Man, at least. You might find Iron Man shit because Tony Stark is a public person who can market his own fucking name and stuff. But the whole point of Spider-Man was he couldn't do any of this stuff. And this isn't the only thing. I don't like it when they did it in what was that shit? Not Black Adam. In the boys' room is all this marketed stuff for Superman and all these. No.
Sure did. After a lot of trial and error.
So yeah, this is just fucking blow me. This is terrible. Like, and the review I watched explained this. Look at this. Look at this marketed material. Peter's fucking broke. We just learned that Harry is paying for him to live there. He's made no money. Look at all these toys. Who's making money off of this? This is, and this is made by people who swore to fucking God they knew Spider-Man so well that they could just do it so much better. This is what happens when you can't and you won't and you don't have the money, because this is a waste of $100,000. Man. And yes, I want them to make 5 more of these. I want people to give them more money. Until we're finally fed up and just do something completely different, give these idiots more money, please. This is outrageous. This is outrageous.
Oh, they're cool and all, but
And I mean, this is a really cool Halloween costume on Spidey. I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie, they did a good job on the costume. I actually think that the, I don't know, fabric-y look of it all around the neck and stuff, for reasons I can't explain, it does kind of work for me. And I wouldn't be angry if there was some degree of incorporation into the cinematic stuff. But I still think, what was the last one? The No Way Home nailed it in the last few moments. Like they nailed it. The Spider-Man they showed the last few moments, making his own costume with the sewing machine. That costume. Oh, thank God! Wait a minute. Wait. Oh, I thought it was over. Damn it. I was like, I heard it was 2 hours. Thank goodness it's not. But oh no, we're still doing this. We're still. This is this. Wow.
This is me, huh?
Yeah.
Who made money from this in this universe? And why is he not pissed? And like, again, you want to be comic book accurate. Comic books have dealt with this. They've talked about how Spider-Man can't cash in on being Spider-Man because of the whole secret identity thing. So the Spider-Man cartoon would definitely not exist, especially if it's accurate to his actual fucking life. What is this? What is this horse shit? And why is there an hour of movie left?
What happened to the girl on the bridge?
Fuck. No, that's a kid. Can't do that. Can't say that. But Spider-Man saves day. What is this? What is this shit? What is this? Oh, God. And I have to do this for another hour. What could they possibly have? Again, we are an hour into this movie, and there is no villain, and there is no goal for the character other than not being sad anymore. And this is the argument that the MCU doesn't know how to make a good Spider-Man movie because they don't make this, where they didn't have a movie where Tom Holland spent 2 hours sad. Just so sad. So sad. This motherfucker here, we've seen him almost OD. We've seen him go to several bridges. So, of course, now it's the cemetery in the rain. Because, oh, son of a bitch. Did he know his father was the Green Goblin all this time?
Sending him off to boarding school. He just doesn't have the spirit of an Osborn. No son of mine flunks out of high school. Crying again? Where's that going to get you? You're more powerful than most people on this planet, and you're wasting everything you have.
You know what? I'm almost not mad at the Timu Willem Dafoe impersonator they got doing the voice of Green Goblin. I'm almost not mad at that. Dude, is that... Okay, no. That's real... It's a deluge of just all the rain. All the rain and the sadness. If she gets out of the car soaking wet, she's wet already, right? This isn't the first take. She's already soaking wet. Son of a bitch. Oh my God. She just found him. This was the other scene. Okay, so she was outside smoking. Flash Thompson just came out. People still sell fake Rolexes all the time. It's got to become face of him made by randos. Man. Spider-Man, Spider Strikes Again, Night of Terror. Oh, so is this the Spider-Man not pulling his punches? Stacy family.
Tim.
Oh, okay.
It's my fault.
What's your fault? What's your fault, dude?
She's gone. Because of me.
Oh, wow.
People are now. And I can't do anything about it. No matter how hard I try.
You're definitely in the shot, by the way.
Look, I'm not the hero that you
Babe.
think I am.
You're definitely in the shot, by the way. Like, I can definitely see you in the shot.
It's not me.
But you
Yeah.
tried to save her. I saw the video.
It's Sunday.
The Beagle's making up stories like they always do.
It's not the same. There's more to it that you wouldn't understand.
What about these stories? When you stopped the whole Sinister Six by yourself? Or you stopped the whole Brooklyn Bridge from
Tim.
collapse?
These stories, They're just that, stories. Written by people that I've never even...
Yes, he is. He's trauma dumping on an 8-year-old.
Look at me like someone that I'm
And
not.
technically, I mean, he's not admitting to murder, but he is kind of admitting to being at fault for the death of someone. Like, that's rough.
Jim, I think I might be able to help you understand it a little better.
Oh, wow. He's going to take off his mask, isn't he?
I
Uh-oh.
got my powers from an accident
Oh, my God.
5 years ago. It could have happened to anyone. I'm not special. A spider was trapped in a beam of radiation. It only had a minute left to live, and I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. It could have been different. If I'd been there a second later, if it died just a second earlier.
I like that Blue Beetle drawing in there as possible options for his Spider-Man suit, I guess.
I didn't ask for any of this to happen. But I took the cards I was dealt and made a choice.
What?
I was only looking out for number one, myself.
I guess.
I created Spider-Man and exploited it for money. For fame.
Oh, wow. We got time for this. I mean, we do have time for this. There's literally no movie. There's no story. There's just this. There's just this thing that they're doing. He told this kid his whole life story.
But choices come with consequences. It all came down to one moment. It always does. It could have been different.
Oh, wow. We're doing the whole thing. I guess so. Wait, is he in front of a locker? Even though it's been, oh geez, I hate the web fluid stuff. Huh. I thought it was interesting. Apparently, Stan Lee always originally wanted it to be like an organic, natural thing, but then his editors told him that it was too gross and to make mechanical web shooters, and the rest is history.
To think about anyone else.
I thought it was, well, it was fine.
Because I didn't understand what these powers
What the
meant.
hell? Why are we still here?
Those choices.
And the climbing and the strength,
Those
right?
moments.
Man,
On a path for better.
all of the sadness, all of Spider-Man's
I
sadness.
wanted revenge.
Oh wow, we're still flashbacking. Well, it's proportionate. It's the proportionate strength of a spider person.
That you know you did.
What the hell do you have to do with it? What do you have to gain?
I've got nothing to gain. You've got plenty to lose.
So they did this already with the black and white and the color. I feel like it's an effect. They're like, we got to go that well again.
Franklin Parker. That's the name of the man you murdered tonight. You're gonna pay.
It was the criminal that I ignored. Right in front of me.
Wait.
If I just stood in the way.
Oh, no. Fred Ward is dead. That guy looks like Fred Ward real bad.
There's no changing the past.
Wait.
I had to live with what
Is he? That looks like an actual, like,
the goblin
actor.
that same warehouse and made it clear. The cycle never ends.
Probably a stunt double.
There isn't a day that goes by where I'm not reminded of it.
What the hell?
And it all started with this
Man.
costume. It was the greatest mistake of my life.
How
Everyone else was paying for it.
can this movie be 2 hours long? According to how long I've been live streaming,
Because of it.
there's like 50 minutes of this movie left. There, it just can't be. There's. Oh my God. We're at the halfway mark. This is
It's a history scrapbook.
this is insane. This is insane.
I can't do this. I'm sorry.
Wait, Spider-Man! Spider-Man, you can't!
Ain't no way, dog. Ain't no way. Are you gonna tell me he's gonna come back later? Okay, so maybe now we're gonna meet our villain. Because you realize that only have we not met a villain, wait, no, there's been 2 action sequences. The 3 dudes he beat up in the alley, and then the fight with Green Goblin, which were both flashbacks. Okay, they've now gotten in the car, and they dried off.
He asked about you.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. But I'm in it now. It's 15 minutes to 9. Oh my God, this is.
Where did you go?
Doesn't matter, MJ.
I just want to understand.
You want it?
So
You shouldn't have stopped me.
For what?
from catching a cold in the cemetery, like what is this? And does he know about
Talk to me.
the Green Goblin stuff? Like is
Help you if you
Help me. Why do you care so much?
and what is it like? This is some dude's fantasy about talking to women in any kind of way. That's what it is. Because every single dialogue exchange is kind of the same. Some angsty dude telling a girl to fuck off. And it's always the same sort of like, don't talk to me.
You keep hurting yourself. Here, you have to tell me what's going on.
Just stop.
No.
That's right. No. Is this what the script said? You say no, and then you stare at him.
I was at that cemetery.
Here we go. Here we go. He was going to bury himself.
Nowhere else to go. Not after Tad, not after Gwen.
Are we going to talk about... Do they... See, that's the thing is, they're supposed to know that his dad killed Gwen, right?
Helped as much as I could.
Maybe they don't know that. Maybe they don't know how Gwen died. She just died. This is... And what is this rain doing? Like, where are they? It's like the rainstorm of the century.
For a second there, I really thought I could make him proud. Thought I was living up to my name for once, but the second I start to feel some sort of importance, he's taken from me. I don't know, maybe if I had stayed, things would have been different, but I ran.
He sent you off to boarding school. And you got back in town, and he was running around being a supervillain, trying to murder people.
I know they're destroying me.
Oh, he got the pills. He got them off the floor and put them in a baggie because that bottle was just too troublesome with that cap, you know. Is it fair to say this is the worst Spider-Man movie? I don't think it's fair to say it's the worst Spider-Man movie. Only because it's, I don't know if I'd call it a Spider-Man movie. I mean,
my whole life trying to be someone else. Trying to be the girl that everyone knew.
because I wasn't in your high school.
Sobbing. You don't think I went to sleep every night the same scared girl I've always been. You're convinced that you're the only one hiding. But I'm right here with you.
But what? What?
I understand, Harry.
What do you understand? His father is a supervillain who murders your best friend. And you guys aren't even talking about that. It's like they're talking about something else. Like someone lifted the dialogue from a CW scene and just pasted it in there and realized that they didn't matter because the subject didn't matter. This is like that episode of South Park where they decided to become a Christian rock band and they just took regular songs and then made them about Jesus. Because this is like a generic emotional back and forth that talks about nothing related to the movie itself or the plot. They are not talking about anything that actually happened to anyone. His father is a green costume wearing supervillain who murdered their friend. And apparently this is public information. And at no point have they spoken about any of that. This conversation could be about anything.
Except for Peter and Gwen.
Oh, until she said Peter and Gwen.
And it was a small umbrella, too. So they had to sit close to each other. It was one of their first dates as a couple.
Why are you talking about them?
Just the four of us were all together. We waited and waited for the fireworks. Eventually, we all wanted to leave.
Man,
Except for you.
I wanted to leave too.
You convinced us to stay just a little longer. And sure enough, the sky lit up with fireworks. And the night wasn't the same after that. Everyone became just a little bit brighter. We all got just a little bit closer. And you made it one of the most memorable nights of our lives.
Okay, so now where is he?
Hey, so how'd it go?
Oh my God, he's just walking around our house?
I really shouldn't be here.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
What happened?
I told him my secret identity, I think, or something else stupid.
Look, whoever he thinks I am, I'm not. You've seen the headlines. Figure it out.
Oh wow, he just talks to everyone like a fucking asshole.
It isn't fair that your son should look up to someone who isn't half the hero that
What
he
did
thinks
you
they
say
are.
to him?
So is this his own personal disillusionment as a person versus reading Spider-Man? Like, I don't understand what this is. Uh-oh. She's going to explain Spider-Man to Spider-Man.
I don't know.
That little boy has looked up to you his entire life.
How long has he been Spider-Man?
He has watched you save thousands of people.
Thousands? He just met the Shocker.
Bugle slander, and it didn't matter because you were his.
Based on what? Like, that's what I don't understand. The reason that the Bugle was so effective in smearing Spider-Man's like life was because there was no other footage. There was no other information about him. What is this child seeing? Why is there a cartoon about Spider-Man in the Spider-Man universe? Like, I don't understand how he gets all.
So, please.
Oh, this is so bad. It's so bad. Nothing makes sense. They just wanted everything. They wanted everything, and they couldn't have it, but they wanted it, so they tried to get it. They wanted everything. They just couldn't have it. They just couldn't get what they wanted. My goodness. My goodness gracious. My goodness.
Hey, buddy.
I'm trying to block your booty out, baby, but you're in the shot.
I was wrong.
Oh, here he comes.
After I told you about what happened, I wasn't thinking straight.
I confessed potential crimes of vigilantism to a minor. Because I'm not supposed to do that kind of thing.
The scrapbook?
All right, that's what it is. I got to go over this way.
Oh, hey, that's
Wait, I have to show you from the beginning.
Okay. You got to show you from the beginning. So how far back? Now, this young man is definitely our director because he is also too young to remember Spider-Man properly.
Vulture on the water tank.
He starts thinking back.
And the first time you fought Sandman at Midtown High, you had to flip him over instead of punching him.
Right, I had to, so I wouldn't break my hand.
Oh, and here's when you first fought Electro,
Right, with the rubber gloves.
and Doc Ock, and Rhino, and Lizard, and Scorpion, and Mysterio. Oh, here's when you had to lift that building up to save all those people when you first fought the Sinister Six.
Really? And they have a name. They have a name. The Sinister Six have a name that the public is aware of. He listed a gang of villains. This little kid has somehow been following Spider-Man since he was inside his mother. Oh, God. I love the Spider-Man cartoon more than anything, and the Spider-Man toys. All things can be true. And somehow in this universe, Spider-Man cannot cash in on any of this stuff. But someone out there has decided to make an entire toy-making empire, cartoons and whatnot, using Spider-Man's likeness, and he is just A-okay with it. Not a problem at all. Is this a musical montage? How long does... This is a musical montage. This is some bullshit. That's what this is. Look at that. Look at this part right here. Who took these pictures? Doesn't Peter remember all this because he took these pictures? Is he looking at his own photo album with this kid? What is this? Veteran thanks Spider-Man for becoming. Oh, this is the New York Times. So only the Daily Bugle makes the lies. Every other news company makes all Spidey truths. The New York Times. The hero was inside of him all along. Wait. Oh. Wow.
Told you guys you'd be lucky. Thanks, sir. How you been, buddy? Should be better.
Guess who we saw in the theater? Flash Thompson, Liz Allen.
Say, Shark, don't hit the...
Liz Allen, what's her name? Liz Allen. Liz Allen will eventually marry Norman Osborn, and they'd have a kid. And I think Liz is in the MCU. I don't know her name, the actor, but she was on this other HBO series that was pretty good. I think she's Liz Allen. This shit is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Oh my God. This is ridiculous. You thought that this was the movie that Spider-Man fans needed because the MCU just didn't quite capture the magic of Spider-Man sadness. Oh. Oh. Please just stop. Just stop it. And this music, it's like it's too good for the movie. Like whoever made this music should be watching this scene in a rage. Like just don't talk to me. Leave me alone. They took my beautiful music and they ruined it with this shit. Okay, another establishing shot that you have to know what you're looking at to know where that is. They didn't go anywhere. They did an establishing shot to stay in the same space. They cut to the city for no reason. They just established a shot. Okay. Oh, wait. Now you can hear the fucking machine keeping him alive because, yeah, he's totally dying.
Well, I was just wondering if you could do one last thing for me.
I want to see your face.
What is it?
He said anything. He said anything. I'm like, give me $100,000. I want to make a shitty movie. This could take him 20 minutes to decide. Oh, he should have a flashback of him deciding whether or not to show his face. Like there should be some kind of flashback.
I've never shown anyone my true face before.
Okay.
Any of my enemies find out who I am.
Oh yeah.
People I love get hurt.
Please tell this kid that if anyone shows up, I'm gonna know who did it and come get you. I'm gonna mess you up, kid. You tell anybody I'm Spider-Man, I'm coming for you. I'm Peter Parker, just like the cartoon you were watching.
Parker, you're the photographer on all the Daily Bugle newspapers.
What is he doing by... Son of a bitch! Son of a bitch! I could not tell you any photographers' names from the newspaper because they don't have a photographer section with their headshots to let you know who that guy is. That's... Oh, God. Oh, God, he said, you're Peter Parker. Like everyone knows who Peter Parker is in New York. Fuck you, movie. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, shit.
But I do know. So you're brave.
Shut up.
Braver than I've ever been.
Oh, man.
I ever could be.
Oh.
Remember when you fought Sandman and Rhino on the Daily Bugle building?
Yeah. Braver than that, too.
Get the fuck out of here. Yes, give him the mask and walk out of that kid's room with no mask on and say goodbye to his mother. Please. Please, God.
Thank you, Peter.
Yes! He's going to give that kid the mask. Oh, no, he's not. Darn it. That'd have been awesome. That'd have been awesome. I'll come back here and kick your asses. Oh, man.
Good night, Tim.
And his name is Little Timmy. Oh,
Wait,
it's...
Peter,
Son of a bitch. You...
can I be back?
Did he look at me? No. Because I don't have $100,000 to give you, buddy.
I'm always in the neighborhood.
Shit. And the last $30,000 goes right out the goddamn drain. Please let this movie be over. Please let the last half hour be like extended credits with outtakes. Please, God.
I wish we could have taken that trip.
We're not done being sad, are we?
I wish I could hold you.
Oh, son of a
one more
bitch.
time.
And more turtlenecks.
Just for a second.
They went down to the Turtleneck Emporium next to Turtlenecks R Us, right next door to Turtlenecks and You
I wish I would have
in the Turtleneck District. Jesus.
Why didn't I propose?
Why is he in the cemetery in his costume?
I'm sorry for failing. I'm sorry for not saving you. I was supposed to protect you.
You were supposed to spend $100,000 responsibly, but you did this instead. Gwendolyn Stacy died 2002.
This really cool kid.
2002? What?
His name was Tim.
Son of a bitch. Wait a minute.
For some reason,
Wait, what?
I told him who I am.
What?
Didn't have a lot of time.
She died in 2002.
When I was ready to quit.
She died in 2002. That kid died in 2023.
But it was different this time.
What the fuck is happening?
I felt like I had no one to live
Has it been 20 years?
with. It was selfish. But Tim helped me see.
Peter Parker was depressed for 20 years?
He asked about you, actually.
He did.
He was a good kid.
What the fuck?
I'm not ready to love again. Not sure if I'll ever.
I will not rewind this.
But I think I'm ready to try. And
2018. Benjamin Parker died in 2018. It said that Gwendolyn Stacy died in 2002. What is this?
it's what Ben and your father would have wanted to.
Oh, no. No.
This is bigger than me,
No.
and I will always
Oh.
be Spider-Man.
No.
Not because I want to,
How can there be 28 minutes left in this video?
because out there are people just like Tim, and they need to believe in good.
No.
I don't think I'll ever get over you.
I can't rewind it, but I have to because I swear to God, her tombstone said she died in 2002. Am I tripping? Was she born in 2002? Oh. Oh. All right. I can't. Oh my God, it's so much longer.
Don't think of it
Wait
as
a
goodbye
second.
to you.
There's just no way. There's no way.
More of a
There's just no way. We got to do it. We got to do it. We got to see it. I can't believe I'm doing this. This is awful. I hate you. I hate you, movie. December. Okay. She was born in 2002. Okay. Okay.
Turned to me and said,
Okay. Well, this is fine. This is fine. We're gonna power through this horse shit.
enjoy.
Okay.
How much is your
Not much. Just the end.
Hey, Pete. Hey. Get you guys anything? Water or coffee?
Is Harry the Green Goblin or not? What is this? What is this? Turtleneck. It's someone has to have a turtleneck in every scene. This is the shitty turtleneck movie.
Oh, we all know I'm not good at these kinds of things.
Shut up. I want this movie to be over so bad. What is... They couldn't even afford a Rubik's Cube.
First day at ESU, my dad stopped. for a
Empire
walk.
State University. That's from the movie.
He turned to me and said, "You better be worth all this."
My goodness.
big dreams of adding to his legacy. Dreams of doing these worthwhile things together, just us, father and son. I tried, you know. I wanted to make him proud more than anything. There I was, barely maintaining a C average.
My goodness.
On pills.
It's like they want the scene to be over. Oh, he's so smart.
You. This guy didn't even have to dream because he already had it all.
What? He was broke and you were rich. How does he have it all?
But that's besides the point. Point is, my best friend.
Is she making you apologize? For what exactly? Your father died murdering his girlfriend. What are you sorry for?
Last summer.
Oh.
It's the night you asked Gwen out for the first time.
She wouldn't stop talking about it with everyone.
This is so sad. So sad. The saddest movie ever. The saddest movie ever to be had. Sad in the history of sadness.
She said she'd only date me if I got her the plush toy.
Sadness. So much sadness.
Remember, you were trying at it for at least half an hour.
Wait. Are they saying that Gwen and Peter dated before he got his abilities? Because that's not how that went. Huh. So sad. The saddest movie.
I thought that pushing people away would fix things. Put an end to it all.
Oh my God. Stop it.
And
Just
processing. I said a lot of things that I didn't mean.
We need each other.
do we?
Living alone isn't living. If it was, then what would this mean? You two are my best friends. The only ones who understand.
Do they?
I can't lose you too. Gotta keep moving on. For her. For everyone.
Oh my gosh. This is the saddest movie ever. And to realize that nothing actually happened in the movie itself.
This is over.
Everything happened before the movie.
Flash is going away party.
Where's Flash going?
Totally forgot about that.
We did too. We forgot what
Tomorrow night,
Flash is going someplace. I'm assuming he's going to war.
I have to go take care of something at the hospital.
Uh-oh. That must mean he's going to go become the Green Goblin?
We understand.
Dude, if they decide to make him the Green Goblin in the last, what? Oh, God, 20 minutes of this awful horse shit?
I'm sorry about your dad.
Really? Your dad killed my girlfriend, you son of a bitch. I think that's kind of what you're supposed to say.
I'll be there.
Oh, my gosh. What are we doing now? What are we doing now? What is this?
You all right, Tiger?
Ah.
Here inside at the cemetery.
No. It was a wake-up call. And I needed it.
No, but I shouldn't have said it.
Oh, my
I
gosh.
didn't realize until now. I don't really know you. What you're dealing with.
Stop.
Oh, okay. So this is the version of MJ that just rolled up on him. Okay, so she didn't go to high school with him. They got that part right.
Hey,
Oh, God. What is this?
we all lost something.
Ah.
Not just me. And not just Harry. All of us.
See, in the original story, I want to say it was
But I think we gained
MJ that was leaving because she was a model. Gwen wasn't leaving the country or anything like that. That was how they retconned later. Because after Norman died, they actually bring Gwen Stacy back, sort of. In the middle of all the clone horse shit, they actually cloned more than Peter. They cloned Gwen. They cloned someone. I think they cloned Professor Warren. So there was more than one Jackal around for a minute. But Gwen Stacy's clone was with Norman Osborn in Europe for all this time or whatever. Oh, yeah, they cloned his parents. They cloned Peter Parker's parents. They cloned everyone. It was stupid. It was lasted forever. And then Gwen's clone shows up out of the blue. And I think Spider-Gwen is a Gwen from another alternate timeline where she got bit by the radioactive spider, you know? Which is interesting because that whole storyline in the original was Parker was supposed to go hang out with them and didn't, and instead he went to go to the science thing. So I guess the story was a little bit different because Gwen went to the science thing, I guess. I don't know. Okay. Is this over now? Are we done? No, we're probably not done. I need this movie to be over. And it's just not over.
Small party. Hey, you guys know Parker's gonna be?
Yeah, he's in the military now. In JROTC? What is that? What is that, a funeral dress? What is he wearing? Is he in the Air Force, Navy?
Well, drinks are in the back.
Maybe he's a firefighter. What the hell is that?
Come on, there's a couple people I want to introduce you guys to.
I think he's a Canadian Mountie. Oh, he's late, of course. Oh, wait, no. I saw this in like a little trailer thing. He's going to run through an alley. Oh, come on. Please, just end. Why is he all in her now? What is this? Oh, God, stop. Please, just stop. Let the movie be over. Just. Okay. Oh, just leave the tile on the floor. Yeah. God. Please, just stop. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a video game. Really? You could have listed them, like said their names. That's not illegal, right? It's like now I'm not sure you know who they are. It's Steve Ditko and Stan Lee, by the way, just in case anyone wasn't sure. This movie sucked. Oh, so Spider-Man and the other guy wrote it. Like Warden Wayne is the guy who played Spider-Man. And they got in a bunch of trouble for being like super racist. Yeah. Yeah. Remember, the only black guy in the movie was the Shocker, who I'm like 80% sure wasn't black on the comics. But you know, if you're gonna have a black guy, you want to be diverse. All right, that's it. I'm not watching the credits. I'm stopping this. Look at this. Look. Okay, let's see. We're just gonna. Okay, it's just credits. It's just credits. No more horse shit. No post-credit scenes. Just. All right. All right. I'm gonna turn this crap down. We're gonna let the credits roll for a second while I share my final thoughts before ending this stream. Fuck that. This movie was exactly what you get when you talk a bunch of shit on Twitter and you're not a filmmaker. You know? That's it. That's it. That's all this is. You talked a bunch of shit about... Because I didn't even know that Spider-Man Twitter was a thing. Because for me, as a Spider-Man reader, I feel like comic books were a singular experience. It's me in the comic book. It's for me. I'm going to read this, I'm going to enjoy it, and it's going to be my thing that I'm reading and enjoying. I don't know how much I need you for that. And you being you in the most general, universal sense. This whole idea that there is this universally understood one way has always been dumb, you know? And then when people like this make movies, they prove they didn't even actually read that shit. They just looked at it. And that's it for me. I'm out, y'all. I got to get ready for work. I'll catch you guys later. Here's the shitty cast. I'm gonna pause it so you don't have to see them. Ha ha. And it's the end of my stream.